What's going on, guys? It's your boy James here, Beards and Cars, back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. If you guys are just stopping by, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Now, with that being said, guys, I have one of you guys asked me in a previous video, how do I trim the backside of my beard? And when I hear backside of my beard, I'm thinking probably this area here, because that's just the backside of your beard. Or it could be this area, you know, I don't know. I'm thinking probably here when somebody asked me that. Now, when my beard was a lot shorter, guys, there's a lot of things, nothing's gonna match up from person to person. So, depending on your beard length, depending on your whole beard situation, there's a lot of variables here. So, the length that my beard is now, I really don't want to trim that area at all. Now, when my beard was much shorter, when my beard was probably in that area, I did trim this, and really all it did, I liked trimming it thin, but at this time, when I was trimming that area, I really thought that that was as long as I was ever going to take my beard, you know. So with it being this short, you know, right through there, it didn't bother me to trim this because, you know, this was getting no longer. So, but what that's caused now, sorry, let me spit this guy out. What that's caused now is from doing all that trimming, because what will happen is a lot of times this stuff right here, depending on your beard texture, this right here will get back, will come back, kind of start touching your ears and stuff and drive you crazy. So what I've noticed, like I said, when my beard was short, I did a lot of trimming here. I always trimmed this ear line, you know, and I've got videos. If you go back and look, I've got videos of me trimming that ear line right there, and or the back side of your beard. And I was fine with it because of the length. But now that my beard is longer, which I never imagined growing at this length, now what I'm finding out is the problem is, you know, my beard already grows at an angle. That's just kind of the way it does. You guys see that long taper, that long angle right there. But what I've noticed is now is from trimming this, which I said I didn't really want to, I didn't plan on growing my beard this long, but from trimming this, now these hairs, since I've trimmed them, are nowhere near the length of this hair. And you know, that's perfectly fine if you're going to keep your beard at a certain length. You can trim that up and keep a certain shape and never really notice it. But what I'm noticing now is this is way shorter. So, you know, I need this to be down a little, you know, I need this to be more down here, but since I've trimmed it, and what I would do is I'd always brush that back a little bit. I'd kind of let it fall into its natural state, like about like that right there. And then what I would do is I would come out and take my clippers and just kind of nick off that end right there, so you would have a look like that instead of this going back. You know, you'd have a nice straight look, come down and then forward. But what I'm experimenting with now is just, you know, I've been letting this grow, and I want to see if I can get this, you know, the same length as this, you know. So probably what we'll be seeing in some future videos is me doing some trimming, and that trimming is going to involve basically cutting this, hacking at this, cutting this down, trying to let this stuff catch up to see if I can get it more like, well, more like that. More like the shape it needs to be. Not cut off quite that much, but, you know, maybe nick at this a little bit and see if I can let this catch up with this just a little bit. I like a tapered beard. I don't have to have it straight all the way back, but I want this to be a little bit longer because, you know, depending on how you look at me, this looks a lot, way longer than this back here. And it's cool, you know, I might not ever be able to get this to catch up with this, but if I can get it close, you know, a little bit closer, maybe like that right there, I'd be more happy with it. So if I can get this to come down about right there and, you know, kind of box that in, I'd be a little bit more happy with that. So I'm gonna try to quit trimming this right here and see where that takes me. So I'm also trying something else. You guys can't see it, but I'm trying something else. I'll mention that in another video. I just want to see if it helps or works with anything. It's something I've never done before, and it's an experiment. It's all an experiment with the beard, guys. You guys give it a shot, no matter what it is. Just experiment with it and see where it takes you. So With that being said, guys, hopefully that helps somebody who was asking about the trimming of the back of my beard. If my beard was shorter, yes, I would trim it. I would just kind of let it fall in its natural state right there. And then I would take my clippers and kind of just cut that down like that. Just a little bit, not way up in here, just kind of cut it off just a little bit so it don't go backwards if my beard was shorter. But now that it's longer and you're asking me, I'm trying not to trim it at all. So hopefully that helps your question, and see you guys in the next one.